Hello everyone. I kind of wanted to show an update for the whole scene. I made a lot of new grasses for different angles, and they're all still moving nicely. What else? Well, I made some new trees compared to the QB ones before, and as you can see they're all moving slightly differently, and that's through some math in the material. If I move it around, then the trees start to change color, as you can hopefully see. And that'll add some additional variation between each. I did the same for the tiny stones over here. If I move to the left and slowly it changes color, so that there's always a little bit of randomness in there. The same I did for these rocks, these stones. Now it's quite white all the way over here, it's dark, a little bit more pinkish over here. So it's slight, but just a little bit adds some nice variation. I'll go over the Canon a little bit later. What else is there? I made a bumpy boy, which is animated through the material. Same with the speed belts, and most of the stuff here you've already seen, at least if you saw the previous video. I also made a semi-modular fines thingy mesh. And if you look closely, you can see that each fine is moving at its own speed. And if you look even closer, the thorns are all moving individually up and down or left or right, depending on their angle. And that's all done through a material. There's no texture in the whole material, which resulted in a lot of math. And this is all just for offsetting the vertices for each. But let's not go over this one. I kind of want to show you the Canon. It's all the way over here. And I wanted to animate the Canon. And I'd rather not make it a skeletal mesh. And I also didn't want to use any textures for it, like Vertice animated textures. And I kind of like the challenge of making it all through math, like vertex offsets, that kind of thing. So at some point I made this material. It's a little bit big. There is one texture in the end, but that's for a glow on the barrel. And I could replace that with just a red vertex color, but I ended up using a texture just for the little bit of additional detail. So most of the animations are done through world position offset, and I'll show you how I set up the vertices and the UVs in a few seconds. I also used the Luos roto and twist mesh material function, which is available on the marketplace in a package, and that really helped me. So before I go over the Vertice Colors, let me just show you what it does. I have a Canon Bend, which uses the roto and twist material function for this movement. I can change where the pivot is, and at the moment it's quite low, near the bottom. There. Then there's the Canon Boom, and that does this. Whoop, whoop. In the material it's controlled through this texture coordinate node, and moving it shows like this. And it comes back in a few seconds. Oh, there it is. Okay. What else is there? We have the Canon Heat, which adds some additional glow to the barrel. You can go all the way, of course, but you generally want it up around here. Then there's the X offset, which basically moves the Canon a little bit back and forth. Oop. Oh, where did you go? Come back. There you go. Okay, so Vertice Colors. Let me grab a multiply and preview that one. This is the red channel, and it says the Vertice Colors in a gradient. So all over here the red Vertice color is 0. All the way over here it's, well, 255 in 3ds Max, but 1 in Unreal. This is the green to cap out the backside. the blue one to cap out the sides, and the alpha to add a gradient to the bottom, which helps with masking out the bottom so it moves properly. Because if I don't do that, and let me remove this, it already does this, but without the vertex color, as you can see, it's just moving around like this. So the vertex color is used as a masking to control the rotation. There. Now if you combine all those variables, you can actually animate this thing. And for that, I made a simple blueprint. And in the blueprint graph, it only is controlling those variables that I made. Canon Bend, the X offset, the Canon Heat, the barrel length, and that kind of thing. I didn't show the barrel length, so let me just show that real quick. The Canon boom, when active, also controls the barrel length, and if I want, I can change the barrel length. And I kind of wanted to have that as a variable, so I'm sure that I can tweak it a little bit. Okay, so now through this timeline, and there's a few more, it does this now. You can see the glow, you can see the length of the barrel change, you can see it bending, and you can see that pulse going through it. And that's basically it. I kind of wanted to show it off because it's quite fun to see what you can do with just a material and math, and not to rely on animations made in a DCC or using vertex animated texture stuff. So yeah, I think that's it. Hopefully you enjoyed it, and I'm gonna stop the video. Take care.